You are listening to the 2.5 Weebs podcast, a show where two veteran anime fans drag a newbie down the rabbit hole of waifus, isekai, and fan service, as well as the happenings in the gaming world. Enjoy.
I'm gonna be the Wizard King!
Oh, God. Yeah, and that's the annoyance we've all dealt with. Hello, 2.5 Weebs this week again. We are covering Black Clover, which was a time.
Oh, it was a show.
It was a time. How have you guys been this week, though?
Good. Busy. I was unconscious for the majority of yesterday, so that's the thing.
Oh, did you just sleep
I
in?
have been
Sick.
no, I got up late for me, so like 9 o'clock, was up for a couple of hours and then slept for another 6 hours after that.
Yeah.
Which is abnormal for me to say the least. I have not been sleeping great, and I've been working a ton, so
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes
got
it's
fun
like
stuff
that.
coming up.
I've also been doing the not sleeping great.
It's a time. It's not a good time, but it's a time.
It is a time. It's what we do. Living our lives, waking up in the morning and then going back to sleep.
Yep. So yeah.
But I had, other than that, I had a bunch of stuff launched this week, which is cool.
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah. What stuff did you do?
Well, Fish's store went up, so there's stuff up there for Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, it did, finally.
And then the Rare Drop stuff launched, so that stuff is finally up. And that's like a whole seasonal catalog of merchandise, which is cool.
Nice.
Also featuring one of my favorite things I've made, which is Broman's clown hoodie.
Oh no.
You know those shirts and stuff, Comfy? That was it, a Heligro or whatever it's called. It's that with his clown emotes.
That's hilarious.
I
think I've seen it, and it was pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's
Yeah.
just wonderful.
I'm definitely not pulling up the shop right now to see it.
Oh, it's right up top.
Oh, that'd be crazy. I haven't actually been on the website since. Oh my god. Okay.
The best part is that Ben is modeling the hoodie for the website.
It's pretty great. It's I kind of love it. I'd buy it. I'd wear it.
It's really good. I'm super happy with the way it came out.
Remember, get paid when you poop. Love it.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's a good time. So, Dale, what have you been up to this week?
Just grinding some more ESO. Busy. Frustrations with having things delivered on time. And just kind of working. So
Work.
that and just, ESO stuff. Spend a time. I ended up taking a couple days off of stream.
Yeah, I took a couple days off too.
yeah.
I feel like I just needed a break. Like everything's been so busy.
Well,
Just-
sorry. Go ahead. Monday I ended up just like having to wait after work to get a package, and it didn't end up coming that day. So I was just frustrated,
yeah.
and then like I just was like, I'm too pissed off to stream today, and then I basically just didn't feel like doing it on Thursday. I was just tired, so.
I kept pushing myself to stream because I feel like I need to be doing something, but then I started like cutting back hours. Like, yeah, I just need to take a break right now. So on Friday, I streamed for 3 hours because I was helping somebody record something.
Yep.
Thursday, I didn't stream at all. Yesterday, I didn't stream at all. I've just been reading lots and lots of Tower of God instead. So now I have all the spoilers. Also, I blame Paul and Cinda because they made me do this. They made me do it, I promise. but it's been a fun time.
I imagine.
What have you been up to? Oh wait, we already just went through everything.
Yeah, we already went through me.
Do we have anything else we can?
We
throw
are
up?
we are all clearly in the.
Paul
we're
has
all doing
also-
great. We're all having great
He's
days.
also been telling me that I need to start reading.
I am very, very far in Tower of God already. I think I'm about halfway through the entire show or the entire webtoon.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm at like 230. It's very fun.
Cool.
It is a really good anime, so I'm not surprised if the,
It's really
book
well
is
written. Like they keep introducing characters, and no character feels out of place. None of them feel like, oh, we're just shoehorning in a character for the sake of having one.
Gotcha.
And every time that they write a character out, it feels fitting as well.
Yes.
So, because I mean,
Cool.
it's almost like there's death in this show or something.
Oh, it's like that would be a thing that occurs in this extremely violent show.
No, everybody
like-
lives forever. What do you mean?
I mean,
Everybody
maybe
lives
if they
forever.
become the Wizard King, they can live forever.
God
Yeah,
damn, the
so-
goddamn Wizard King.
So the show we actually were covering is Black
Black
Clover.
Clover.
So we've seen the
Oh,
first
man.
3.
I have synopsises I'll read through just to give us a highlight of the episodes.
Uh-huh.
So I'll go through those, and then Dale can tell us why he hates this.
How do you know I hated it?
All right, so this is a long format show. Just so anybody who hasn't heard of it. So I'm just going to run through the first 3 synopsis episodes, the ones we watched, and then we can discuss the show in general terms.
Right.
So, episode 1, Astra and Yuno. In Hague, a priest finds 2 babies abandoned outside his church. He takes them inside, discovers their names to be Yuno and Asta. 15 years later, Asta proposes to Sister Lily, who constantly refuses him. Yuno and the other orphans criticize him and point out his lack of magic.
I just want to point out that the content of this show doesn't make me dislike the show.
No,
I
there's
want
a
to point out that
character.
every
Yeah,
single
it's-
word out of Asta's mouth is violent screaming.
Oh,
As I
God.
said, we can discuss the show in general in terms after I run through
Okay,
this.
go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. it.
Astra tries to show off his skills, but outshines with his magic. Later at the Grimoire acceptance ceremony, a pair of nobles criticize the commoners there. Despite Astra not receiving a Grimoire where Yuno retains a 4-leaf clover one, Astra challenges Yuno to title of the Wizard King. Yuno ignores him. After the ceremony, the 2 nobles ambush Yuno outside the tower, but Yuno overpowers them. All 3 are then ambushed by Salak, a former magic knight, who plans to steal Yuno's grimoire and sell it. Astra comes to Yuno's rescue but fails. As Salak breaks Astra's spirit, Yuno calls Astra his rival. Motivated by his acknowledgement, Astra decides to keep fighting, which summons a grimoire from the tower. Salak notices that it has a 5-leaf clover, and then a large sword appears from the grimoire. Astra grabs it, and the shadow of a devil appears behind him. That's pretty much your first episode. Episode 2, The Boy's Promise. This one's a bit longer. The episode starts a flashback to 10 years ago. Yuno is running through a trail and suddenly falls down. Asta asks him if he's okay and comes close to him so Yuno can grab his hand and get up. Asta calls Yuno a crybaby and then tells him it's okay since he's got his back. Then Asta and Yuno keep running along the trail. And Asta comments that everyone is waiting for them up at the top. This really long synopsis. They have some kid things going on, like Astra being a brat and wanting to marry Lily. Lily tells the story of the Wizard King came to exist because it used to be eternal darkness, and someday a brave mage came to defeat the demon that used to basically live in the darkness. And that's how Dawn came to be. Kids get into the story. Astra is appreciating the view of a statue of the Wizard King on the top of a giant skull outside of the church. Lily and Yuno are with them. Astra asks Lily if the Wizard King is an important person to which the sister agrees, and then adds that he's the most important person after the king. He then makes up his mind and declares that he's going to become the Wizard King. Lily seems very surprised by this. Um, and then he asks her again if he'll marry him, which she's, shoots him down again. This is a recurring theme in the show, in case anybody's wondering.
Who knew?
Yeah, I know. That's there's a couple more things happen, like him being mocked and asking Lily to marry him again and stuff. That's pretty much episode 2. I mean, not a lot happens in episode 2.
Not a lot happens in episodes 1 through 3.
Episode 2 was like when they decided to go back and give
It's
you
it's a little bit of a backstory about them,
right, and a world
yeah,
it's
building
not a ton
episode.
of backstory. It's just a tiny bit because it's only one episode and it kind of flows through time a bit.
Yeah, episode 1 just kind of like pointed out 3 times, like, oh yeah, Asta saved one time, but we don't know any of the context to it, and then it just gives you context in the next.
Yeah, then there's context. Yeah.
Like
Episode 3, to the world capital of the Clover Kingdom. So we have a little flash of a city being attacked by a giant demon, and the first Wizard King defeating the demon. Over the following generations, the Clover Kingdom is protected by the Wizard King, who commands the 9 squads of magic knights, and their duty is basically to protect the kingdom. So Asta finishes his 1,000 swings with the sword he got from the grimoire, proceeds to drink this leaf juice stuff. Yuna's also been training, chopping wood and shattering rocks. Both of them want to...
This is also the episode where he defeats that Black Knight guy. That was like the first part of episode
Yes, that
3.
happens at the very start. It's like... It's almost not worth mentioning because it's over that fast. Like, it's just...
I mean, yeah, but it's kind of, it basically resolves what happened at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, it does. It's just not in the synopsis here for some reason, probably because of the fact it's like, episode starts, it's done.
Yeah, so basically... Astra saves from the magic dude with his new magic sword.
So both of them are training to take the Magic Knight's entrance exam.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, while Astra's training, Nash approaches him and says that the orphans are too weak and too poor to dream of becoming Magic Knights. Astra yells at him not to give up, declaring that he'll prove anyone can do it. They have a special dinner that night of various Tato dishes, which is also a running theme in the show. Tatoes, which I think Dale's happy about. Then the Astra and depart. And Lily remembers the first meeting the boys and the night brought back an injured Asta. And then during the long journey to the capital, there's just a little bit of a training montage thing. So not a ton happens in these first 3 episodes because, as I mentioned at the start, this is a long format show. And because of that, it's spread out.
Yeah, like
they don't rush through things.
I was told Asta gets good after episode 19.
How the fuck do they expect people to watch 19 of this shit?
Well,
really?
Here's the thing.
My God.
Here's the thing. So the show is currently on episode like 132 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the most popular show on Crunchyroll right now as well.
Yeah, it's also extremely popular. Asta gets more interesting and less annoying as you go farther into the show, which is common for long format shows.
Yeah.
So if you've ever seen a One Piece or Naruto, it's the same thing there. They're very, very annoying to begin with, and then they get less so as time goes on because the characters mature. It's something you can do in a long format show. And Asta is a extremely hyper, exuberant personality, and he's a kid. So him being super loud and super abrasive is kind of realistic. It's just annoying as shit. But he does get better as he starts to experience more of the world and get some life experience and stuff under his belt. He starts to tone down the yelling and all that stuff. Like, it goes away. So he gets more bearable as a character, but you do have to stick around for a little while first because, again, long format show. So what would normally be done in maybe an episode and a half of a shorter show, like a standard like 12 to 13 episode show, is going to take like 12 to 20 episodes here in shows like this. So
that's
like,
awful. I hate that.
It's the same, and it's got the same problems that things like Dragon Ball do, where you're in these big fight scenes later on in the series, and they'll take 3 to 4 episodes to go through.
Right.
Because it's, they've got time to go through things and stuff like that. And there's also a lot of characters, and they do move around and investigate every single character, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a thing.
It's a long form anime.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got the problems of a normal that pretty much every long form anime has. There's not a single one out there that doesn't have these issues, especially when they first start. So I can't say it's a problem with this show, but it's not just this show, right? It's part of the whole.
It's
how they translate
a symptom of the genre.
Yeah, which sucks. I kind of wish they would speed things up and whatnot. But if they do that and then slow stuff down, people are going to complain. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially since these long form ones usually have a big following behind them, which is why they get the backing to be a long form anime. So
Yeah.
you can also tell that the animation suffers from it being a long form anime in the first season too.
Yeah, they're like the first episode had 3D CG in like the only actual fight.
Yep.
And man, we here at 2.5 Weebs are not the biggest fans of
We're not.
3D CG.
It's never implemented well, and it's not really implemented well here.
Yeah. It's kind of jarring.
It is. It's very, very jarring. Based just on these first 3 episodes, it's difficult to recommend this show. If you're looking for something long form and you want to give something a go, I would say give this a try. Just because it's a rough go for quite a few episodes.
The world they make is very cool. I really liked the world that they made. The overall story is actually very interesting, and like in the first episode when you see the giant fucking skeleton and there's a giant skull, you're like, what the fuck is that? And then when you finally see the giant demon king get killed by the monster, and you realize, oh, that used to be that big city and now it's all ruins, and there's the skeleton of that demon king. And it's very cool, and the world they make is very interesting. Honestly, if Astra would tone himself, if Astra was toned down like all the way, I probably would actually enjoy the show. But god fucking damn it, he just will not shut the fuck up.
No, I know. As I said, it does happen.
It is way over the top. It's too much. Who likes this?
I get that he has like main character syndrome and stuff, and he's gonna be like this.
He's the worst example of main character syndrome.
Yeah, and like that's fine because that exists in every single anime. Every main character has main character syndrome. But
I mean, look at Naruto. Naruto's just as annoying, if not more so, than Astra when the show first starts, right?
Man, guess what point I was actually just getting to explaining.
He just can't talk. He can't just speak like a normal person. Everything's got to be pushed up to the nth degree, and he's just like,
you guys want to know?
I watched and I hate it.
I watched almost the entire 3rd episode of Black Clover muted.
Oh my god! Yeah, that would probably help. Actually,
I'm not kidding. It legitimately helped. And the thing is too, because I've been talking to some people about these shows, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I read the manga. The manga was great because the fun fact about manga is you can't hear him yelling."
There you go.
It was literally a suggestion of read the manga to this point and then watch the anime. Like, because...
Or they could just make the show better from the beginning and then not annoy people.
I watched the show previous. I'm in episode 50-some. So I'm a good ways in. So I can tell you he does get toned down, which is great. Because he meets other characters and they kind of start influencing him as a person, and he matures, and then later on he matures again, which is nice.
Mhm.
So things do get toned down, and it's way more watchable at that point. You also start having more episodes where there's other characters on screen just as much as him, as well as switching over to see what Yuno's doing.
Right.
So it becomes more bearable as a show
Yeah,
in
but
terms
like,
of him not being as yelly and annoying.
if
But as I said, it's got the same problems of every single long form anime.
yeah,
They all start goddamn rough.
yeah, if I'm
There's
supposed
not
to
one that doesn't.
suffer through,
Actually, no. There's
to get the good
one
stuff.
long form anime that doesn't start rough with an obnoxious, annoying main character, and that's Hunter x Hunter.
That Hunter x Hunter has been the buzzword this week around me, apparently, and I need to watch it. So that has been like you should watch Hunter x Hunter. Like,
I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It's a really good anime.
But I keep hearing.
There are 2 versions, if I recall right. One's older than the other. The newer one goes farther. It doesn't cover the whole manga, though. It goes pretty far, but it doesn't go all the way, I don't believe. There's also a few movies to watch that are interspaced between, like, when it goes through.
I skip a lot of the movies in long form animes.
Yes, yeah.
They're not relevant.
But it's a very, very interesting anime. It gets dark in some interesting ways. It's also, again, it also has a very interesting world to it, because of the way that people have their special abilities and stuff like that, and how they're developed. Things.
Indefinitely on hiatus, apparently, too.
Yes, it is currently, because the guy who's writing it wants to finish it and wants the manga to continue as well as the anime to continue as well as the manga. So he just put it down for a really long time because he's like, I'm tired of writing this.
Damn.
Which
Yeah.
I can't blame him. Like,
No,
considering how long it
absolutely
was
not.
running, right? So it's like, it happens to every artist, like every writer and stuff like that. If they've worked on something for so long, they're like, I need a break.
If you don't get burnt out, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, so this show is
Yeah, consensus is like,
it's
if you like long form, try reading the manga. If you're interested in the world, try picking that up. That's what I would recommend.
yeah. If you are looking for a long form anime to watch, this isn't a bad one. It is newer. So it's going to be continuing for a while.
In order to get to the point where it's good, you have to suffer through just fucking terribleness.
Here's the
and
thing,
that is
though,
not
for the
going to
people
happen.
who like long
for
form
me.
animes, 19 episodes is not a long time.
I do not have time to suffer through over like almost
Dale,
an entire season.
You wouldn't sit down and watch like a long form anime anyways. None of them are lower than 200 episodes except maybe Bleach.
Right.
And that's getting expanded even more. So
and that's getting a new season, so that's going to go over 200. So like when you watch a long form anime, you're making a commitment to watch something that is a massive time investment because it's hundreds upon hundreds of episodes. And this one's already at like 132-ish, somewhere around there. So they've got a long way probably to go still, but if you're looking to get into one that's currently running, this is probably the best one to get into. It's also, as I said, new, so it's going to have, especially later on, better animation because of budget than maybe some of the older stuff. If you're looking for one that is finished, that is good pretty much from start to finish, with almost no filler, watch Hunter x Hunter. Because that's one of the best ones out there.
Yeah, I need to watch Hunter x Hunter really
It's
bad.
An extremely good anime.
Yeah, so many people I know have told me just like, you would like this show, just watch it.
Yes. Oh, if you like Tower of God, you're gonna like Hunter x Hunter.
That's literal. Okay, so I've been talking with Mondays and Cinda about Tower of God because they're caught up on reading it, and they're the ones that forced me into this bullying situation. And they keep trying to compare it to Hunter x Hunter, and then like, wait, we can't because you haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet. You don't know what they're talking about.
And it's like, I'll watch it when I finish the Tower of God webtoon because I'm very far in that. Need to finish it now.
You're gonna like it. It is really good. So yeah, consensus on this show is it's a show. It's a long form show.
It's an
So if you like
interesting
them-
world. It's an interesting plot. It's a long form story. If you're into that and can deal with screaming, hats off to you. This is your show.
Yeah, if you can deal with an annoying character who gets better in about 20 episodes, like say, like if you were okay with that with like Naruto or something like that,
I was literally just gonna say,
You'll-
if you liked Naruto and you liked
you'll-
that basic
Yeah.
shit, you'll like it.
yeah, this is up your alley. You'll like this. Give it a go. If you do not like long format shows where it takes forever for something to happen, avoid this show at all costs. Just like I would say, avoid every long format anime at
Yeah,
all costs. because-
if you're a seasonal and not a long format person, just don't worry about it. It's not your show. It won't be. It never will be. It's not something you're gonna enjoy.
I don't even think there's a long format show I'd recommend to someone who wants to watch something seasonally because they're
I mean, at what point is My Hero gonna be considered long format?
they break theirs into season like actual seasons though. They actually have breaks.
You're right. You're right.
Um,
Black Clover doesn't.
yeah, it's just continuous. So, which is, I mean, good for the animation studio and stuff like that.
I mean, every long form show needs a break. Fairy Tail did 3 separate seasons, but like
Yes, but their
each
seasons are
season was also like 120 episodes.
yeah.
So,
Jesus.
So, yeah, Fairy Tail is a very good, also a very good long format anime. Very
suffers
annoying
the
main
same
character.
problems.
Same-
Suffers the
same
same
problem.
problems.
The
Natsu is
exact
not
same
nearly
problems.
as annoying though.
He is at the start.
Yeah, but he gets better in like 2 episodes compared to.
He gets better in less episodes. I'd say probably about 10. He's a little more
He's
okay-ish. Plus, you
even
have Happy
though he
the
at
whole
least
time.
like
so-
has the big thing that separates Natsu from Naruto and Asta from me is Natsu even in the first episode had moments where he was like, yeah, we should probably try to figure this out. What the hell's going on right now? Why are you here? Why am I here? As opposed
Yeah.
to just screaming constantly.
Yes. Now, part of that is due to maturity of the characters. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
I'm pretty
absolutely.
sure
There's
that-
time skips in all of these shows.
and you know, he's older than Asta too. I'm pretty sure by at least a couple of years. And
Yeah, Asta's 15, right?
yeah, and I
I
think
want to say
Nar-
Natsu's 16.
Yeah, 16 or 17, something like that.
So-
and a year or two
somewhere around there.
difference. When you're a teenager, a year or two of extra life experience and stuff like that makes a big difference in
Mm.
like how you approach the world and how you act. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
once you
long
realize that there are
shows.
people a year younger than you, you realize you are not the bottom of the food chain all of the sudden.
Yeah.
It's a
especially with boys, it's a big. We mature weird, so
we,
and it
you,
takes a while.
You were wrong the moment you said we mature.
Yeah, we do. It's just till about 24 is when we really start getting there.
We'll have like another year and a month. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Working on
we'll
it.
get there. It'll be fine.
Soon enough, your
but
hair
yeah.
will fall out too.
So that's this show. We do have a show we're gonna watch for
Leitner.
this week, Leitner, which should be interesting. Now I am caught up completely on the show. I'm actually waiting for the new episode to drop.
Really?
I really like this show.
Of course you would. I have
well,
been
it's-
told it is quote panty shot simulator.
It's okay. So there's one character who's in her panties a lot, but
I would hope that
But-
all of them are, but I mean continue.
but every time she strips down to her underwear or less, there's an actual reason for it, like an actual plot reason to the story. It makes perfect sense what she's doing. And another character actually points out to her at one point that rather than getting naked because it makes him uncomfortable, she should just wear a swimsuit.
And let me guess, she doesn't.
No, she does.
Oh wow.
So there is like she does strip and stuff like that, but it makes sense. And he's like, and the other character is like, I'm not comfortable with this. Can we do this instead? So it's not like it's gratuitous like other shows we have watched. It's natural and understandable in context.
Where
Wait,
can
are you
I watch
insinuating we've
this?
watched shows that have gratuitous nudity?
We would
What are
never.
you even on about? That doesn't sound like anime.
Nope. Not
Well, I
at all.
don't know. We've had the one with the cat girls and the bird girls and the penguin
We're just gonna
girl.
stop right there. No, just I wasn't. It was a rhetorical question. I was not asking for examples.
It's still a highly recommended show. Um,
Which one? Monster Musume?
no, I
Or
was talking about
Interspecies.
interspecies reviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gleipnir is very interesting. It's a very dark show.
I see
And
ecchi
it's-
horror in my chat.
Yeah, it's horror, and there's elements of psychological horror, physical horror, body horror in it as well. Like it's touching on a few different subgenres of horror.
Mhm.
And there's ecchi because, as I said, one of the characters has a tendency to remove her outer clothing and for context reasons. It's a very interesting show, though, so I'm curious to see what people think of it.
I swear it's legal, officer. The context allows it.
Yeah, context is king for nudity. That's something Dale has, hit upon previous times. It's like he's okay with boobs as long as they're boobs that make sense.
Wait, so he doesn't like boobs in anime?
I
A lot of times.
context is fucking everything. Like if
Yes.
if there's main characters and they were just banging or whatever, it would make sense that they're naked. But like if she's like, oh, I'm just naked for no reason, it's like fucking. It's just I don't like it.
Then it's
cringy.
like, please leave my younger cousin's birthday party.
Yeah, and
stop.
it's just it doesn't make sense. Or like certain outfits where they're like, I'm a badass warrior girl. Why are you in like a bikini?
Why are you wearing literally nothing?
Why are you in a bikini instead of armor? It's just
Well,
that's not only
I mean, if
anime.
you-
That's any form of media. It
It
annoys
sounds
me. And-
comfy like he wants to watch Queen's Blade.
I haven't watched Queen's Blade yet. I know you're saving it for him, but oh man. I need a break after this week. We'll watch Gleipnir.
Yeah, we'll watch Gleipnir. You guys Comfy might enjoy Gleipnir. If you like horror anime, I think you're going to enjoy this one.
I actually really don't like horror stuff, but I've heard a lot of memes about Gleipnir, which is why I'm interested.
Yes, it's an interesting show. There'll be definitely some things in these episodes to discuss at length. So yeah. So I mean that's the anime we're going to be covering.
Yeah, that's it. We did the important parts. Now we can talk about anything.
Well, I mean, let's not talk about disinfectant. I think we can skip that.
No. Listen, guys, remember, if you inject yourself with disinfectant, you won't die from coronavirus.
Yes.
You will be dead from the disinfectant.
Yeah. We've had leader of North Korea is either dead or brain dead.
The
that's
reports
good
I've
news.
seen are brain dead or complicated health.
Yeah,
So-
there's reports of him being dead and them trying to hush it, and then there's other reports where he's in a vegetative state. Either of these is, and this is bad to say, but kind of a good thing because fuck that guy. Like,
Yeah, as much as
I
funny
mean-
as all the jokes are and stuff about Kim Jong-un and all those memes, like, you gotta remember, at the end of the day, he is one of the most terrible and terrifying human beings on the face of the planet in terms of his power and his capability to do terrible things to other people.
and his willingness and history of doing terrible things to other people, so
Yeah.
kind of not sad.
Yeah, granted, we don't properly know who's going to be the new leader of North Korea. It looks at this moment as though it's going to be his sister. She is apparently just as bad, but people are making some great memes about her online.
I don't know if it will be her. I
We
see
don't
China.
know. Because
I
he
s-
has, like, younger children, doesn't he?
I don't know. I see China making a play because he's technically not out of the picture. I don't see her filling the role because, again, horrible to say, but she's a woman in North Korea.
Yeah, and they're a very... Yeah.
They're a very much a patriarchy, like a hardcore patriarchy. So things are going to get bad there.
It's going to be
soon.
really, like, we have no idea the full context of the situation. We don't know what exactly is going on. We know China's sending a team of surgeons to check on him.
Yes, surgeons and specialists, they've said.
Yes, because they want to verify his health or his quality of health and then treat him if necessary.
Yeah,
Like-
it's
which is a very
There's-
reasonable thing for China to want to do because they have a strong relationship with North Korea as their
Yes.
main trade agreement.
Well, as I said, they might kind of step in and kind of take over as well. That's a other possibility because it's China and they've kind of been known to do that.
And also, North Korea is a bit of a problem child to China.
Yes.
Welcome to the North Korean
otherwise-
political podcast. Hello.
I mean,
There was
literally.
the unfortunate incident up here in Nova Scotia.
I heard about that.
We had a mass shooting, unfortunately. And again, thankfully, the guy responsible is dead. I don't feel bad about saying about that.
Mhm.
Why would you?
He had a history with the police before this. Why he wasn't in jail is beyond me because he almost killed a kid like in 2001, 2002. And by kid, I mean like a 14-year-old. He almost beat him to death.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's not
Um,
really all right.
I have personally seen the guy before. I used to live next to his business for about 3 years.
Well, that's
um,
terrifying.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just at least a
um,
little bit.
So I'm not surprised. I don't think anybody's super surprised, given his past.
That's so terrifying.
It's a shitty thing. It's the worst incident that's happened of this nature in 31 years up in Canada. And the main reason he was able to do as much destruction as he did, because we have strict gun control laws, is because he was wearing a fake police uniform and driving a fake police car.
Yeah,
Which
that's
allowed him
very
to-
much not okay.
Yeah, it allowed him to circumvent being spotted by the public. It also allowed him to, unfortunately, pull over some victims on the highway and then proceed to shoot them.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
So it's 100% like this is way planned out. So I kind of
Oh,
hope they find out what the fuck, because you don't get a police uniform and a police cruiser made without planning to use it for some weird shit. And unfortunate here.
The only person
Right.
I know that owns a police cruiser that uses it for their own personal purposes repainted it so it looked like it was from Arkham Asylum, and he drives around dressed as the Joker.
Yeah, no, this guy painted exactly like an RCMP one, except for like one code on the car, so it would not be noticeable to anybody who didn't know to look for that code. And if it was driving by, you wouldn't be able to see it.
right.
Yeah, that's
So
well. In less sad news, but still not great news, I don't know where my cat is.
Uh-oh. How long has the cat been missing?
in or out of the house?
She's an outdoor cat.
Okay,
She hasn't come home in 2 days.
is that abnormal for your cat?
It is. She spends a lot of time outside, but she's always home at night. So
Hmm.
I mean,
it's
it's
a little weird.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like,
Is she fixed or no?
Yeah, she's fixed.
Okay, so it's not like she's
Um,
out there.
I don't think she's tagged, but she has a collar, or she should have a collar. Last we checked.
Hmm.
But it's it's wildly stressful for me because I actually like my cat.
I hope she
Yeah.
comes home.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not too worried about her well-being. I'm more just worried about if she comes home or not.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's smart enough.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes having
our-
outdoor cats can end up like that. My mom, and when I lived with my mom, we had several, and things happen when you have outdoor cats, and they just sometimes don't
Yeah, I
come
would-
home, or they come home.
Like a week later.
We've had a couple come home and they got into a fight with some kind of animal. It's like, well, they're all jacked up now, but
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my
outdoor
cat
cats,
is
you risk it.
my cat's a rescue. She used to be an outdoor cat, and she's got like a little chunk missing out of her ear and a
Mhm.
couple little scars in her ears, stuff like that, which is kind of common for them. And
Yeah.
she doesn't go outside now. She has no interest in the outdoors unless my dog goes outside,
Yeah.
because she is glued to my dog. So if he goes outside, she's like, I want to go outside with the dog.
You shouldn't glue animals together, Copper.
The problem there being is that the dog doesn't think cats are allowed outside and should not be outside their homes.
Why
So
why is your dog in charge of your cat? Do you have some hierarchy of animals?
yes, and the cat decided that the dog is in charge.
There you go.
That'll work.
It's and he's got rules that the cat has to obey, and he enforces them with the cat. My household is weird.
I mean, it sounds like it has more order than mine.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. If I start to cook or do dishes, my dog immediately looks to go outside. It doesn't matter what room of the house he was in, he comes and looks to go outside because I'm in the kitchen doing something, which means to him, he's supposed to be outside.
Yeah.
Because this is something he learned as a puppy, and it's like, well, I could just keep napping in the bedroom, but he's like, nah, the dishes are being done, I gotta go out. He's a little odd.
Dogs or something.
Yeah.
I don't think we had much in the way of
Games and stuff.
stuff
No.
going
it's
on.
been-
Really
Um,
wasn't.
That's
I mean,
been pretty
there was
boring.
the Blue Protocol beta that started.
uh,
It is not region locked to Japan, but they're not really letting non-Japanese players play in that one because it's supposed to be for Japanese players.
mhm.
There is a MMO YouTuber I watch who got in and is reviewing stuff for it. He's loving it. It's also a free-to-play game that is
The best
very
kind.
heavy on story service, which is cool. There's decent customizations already, he said. The gameplay is awesome. It has aim assist for people who require aim assist because there are range classes in the game. Very, very anime feeling, which is great. It looks gorgeous. And it is coming to the West, so I am very excited. He basically said that if they do the translations properly for the story when they bring it over, and I believe this is done by Bandai Namco, so
Yeah.
they do them themselves, which they usually do, and it's done properly. This is going to be the best free-to-play MMO on the market, he said.
Good, because I need a new free-to-play MMO.
So that'll
Because
be
my free-to-play MMO doesn't have content.
well, Destiny will get content at some point.
hopefully.
Don't worry, it's just the spring event happening right now.
Yeah, I haven't even touched
bothered.
it. I don't care to.
I haven't opened. I think it's been months now since I opened
Yeah.
Destiny. Like I would actually have to look.
It's kind of
been
like
that
what we
long.
were talking about a long time ago, where it's like they dedicated so much time into Trials, and then Trials just isn't what people are hoping that it was, and
They just
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
they do
it's-
not have like the current shebang is the event is happening right now, the like Olympics event that's supposed to be super hype and everything, and it's just bounty farming.
yep,
Yeah, it's been 8 weeks since I played Destiny.
yeah, I haven't
according
touched it.
to Steam.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to log in unless you want to get the LMG.
I don't even care.
Nobody does. I do. I care enough for some reason, and I'm doing it.
So
That's why I'm in right now.
like, and they are going to start giving us information. They said and how they're going to be addressing things, but
Yeah, like
We got
I
we got
am-
some information on Trials this week, which is nice. But
because the big
with
issue with
the
Trials has
whole
been
cheating
a lot of hackers and just cheating.
Well,
and
that is
Try-
a problem. The other problem that they're addressing
and the loot is just
better.
not great.
has been the loot
Yeah.
stuff.
the fact that
Or
loot
the-
is the best way to get loot is to just farm the bottom 3 games, which matches you with people in the first 3 games, and so that forces anybody who's not a top tier player to be matched with top tier players in their first 1 to 3 games.
Constantly.
Plus,
And then
if-
at that point, those people end up leaving the game, and the skill gap just gets expanded and expanded. And then at the end of the day, you only have people who only play Trials or PvP doing Trials, and then all of the normal players that would be playing regularly to fill the pool just aren't there.
yeah,
Yep.
because
And
if you are a
I
low
mentioned
tier
that being an
player,
issue. I mentioned that being an issue months ago that was going to be a problem,
yep,
and they exacerbated it by how they set up the loot pool.
yeah,
Yeah, they
because
did.
you can't. If you're a low tier player, you can't even get loot unless you get 3
No,
wins.
you can't. You can't.
And
You-
with all
if
of the
you're a
top tier
low-tier-
player farming the low,
if you're a low to mid skill player, you're not getting anything.
Now,
You
granted,
can grind all you want, but you're not going to get 3 wins. because
they
of-
did this week come up and be like, "Hey, we have an idea on how to fix this. Does
Yep.
this work?" And the thing they
Yeah,
posted in the
they're-
TWAB will work, allegedly.
It will work allegedly. The problem being is that it's like, here, grind this mode, keep losing at this mode to these people, which doesn't feel fun, which is something they did not address, and you'll eventually get this drop from this thing you can get, which is the same as getting the drop as 3 wins. Cool. The problem with that is nobody wants to constantly lose at something and get their ass kicked to get a single drop.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's better than getting your ass kicked and then not getting a single
and nothing.
drop.
But it's basically
still,
like, here, come play this and keep losing so we have people to fill up the mode, and we'll give you a pity thing after like 7 to 8 games. And that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be like, dude, they're not going to play 7 to 8 games to get this one drop. No one's going to want to sit around and do that. That's not fun. That's part of the problem, especially when there's cheaters running around. And cheating is up, I think they said like 50% in the game.
Yep.
Which, again, not surprising. I knew we were going to see a spike as soon as trials came out, because just people are going to do that. And then because of the ways they set up the loot pool, more people just said fuck it and started cheating. So
yeah, and they're just cheating in the first 3 games and making everyone that actually wants to play the game quit. Like, I haven't done trials in 4 weeks. There's no reason for me to.
Yeah, everybody is just, they're like, no, I wash my hands of this. And to make matters worse, there was no new maps. It was all old maps.
Yeah, it was all Destiny 1 maps. And then they
all Destiny 1 maps. And
I want to point out they've started cycling maps. This week is the original map that they played, Burnout. And if anybody would like to guess how many Destiny 2 specific maps were used in trials, I'll give you a very big hint. It's less than 1.
Yeah.
So, and you know, when we talked about this months ago, I said this is going to be an issue. And I wasn't wrong. Like, the problem is that it doesn't feel new. It feels like they went and said, okay, we'll take this nostalgic thing from D1. Here you go. It's now in D2.
They didn't even do it like if they would have done it just like they did the loot system in D1, it would have been better. But they didn't even do that.
Yes, they took the game mode, put the game mode in exactly the same, and then said, "Oh yeah, we're changing the loot system to make it less to get less loot." So it's like the worst possibility like you could get together, which is the old game mode, which is going to run at a nostalgia within a week or 2, which is what happened, and then worse loot on top of it. So it's like, well, okay then. Like,
yeah, I talked about it a long time ago. I was saying if they bring trials back when it's not a good environment for trials, it's just gonna hurt the game overall. And
as I said, they would have been better off spending the time, manpower, and money on improving PvP as a whole. Than they put into trials.
Yeah, but they wanted a band-aid fix for it, and if the PvP sandbox isn't fixed, then trials doesn't get.
They've been sitting on. They were sitting on, like, the fact they brought the whole mode over without changing it up basically says they were sitting on this as an option until they thought they needed it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about what they think they're going to need after this season, because, oh boy.
Literally actual PvE content and not what it is.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
It's why I've jumped into ESO. I know Dale has as well. ESO is also a buy-in game. It does have an optional subscription, but you don't have to get it.
Yeah,
it's super fun. Like, there's tons of actual content, right? So and it was on sale for like $9. So, you know, it's an easy thing to jump into. Like, it's a massive MMO with tons of actual story content, new stuff coming out.
It's got good gameplay too. Like, if you like Elder Scrolls games, it's a good game.
Yeah, like, you can play it first person, or you can play third person. It's an action MMO, so there's no tab targeting, which is great because I hate that.
ESO is my favorite MMO that I played, for sure.
It's a good time.
I fell out of it because I didn't vibe with it that hard, but in terms of like actual MMOs, it's the best one I've touched.
Yes.
And I would recommend it to anybody who, like me, likes the concept of MMOs, but just can't give a shit about...
It's the thing with MMOs is you really got to find one that clicks, right? When you find one that clicks, it will become almost an obsession with people. But it's just finding that right, flavor of
Gotta be the
MMO together.
Style of game. It needs to have the right content. It needs to have the right community. Like there's so many things.
Yeah, but if you find it, like my girlfriend's been playing Final Fantasy 14 for
Mm-hmm.
shit 5-6 years, like a long time as her like mainline game. So I mean, when people find it, that's it. Like, I mean, look how long people have been playing WoW, right?
Yeah, my brother just got back into it.
Yeah, and it happens with people too, right? Like, I played ESO on and off for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm back into it again. I'm looking forward to things like Blue Protocol because I love the art style of that, and it's an action
Yeah.
MMO again. So,
I don't know. I'm kind of lost right now in terms of games to play. I've been playing a lot of Valorant, but that's pretty much it.
we're in a bit of a lull, to be honest. I mean, there are some things coming out.
Like,
Like-
I haven't finished Final Fantasy VII. I haven't finished Persona 5. I haven't finished Last of Us.
I have no interest in Last of Us. I think a lot of people's interest kind of died a little bit when they kind of said, "Hey, the other game's coming out sometime way in the future.
Never.
We're not going to give you a date, like never," type of thing.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, I've been playing that the remake, but as I've mentioned, I've been playing that when the girlfriend is sitting down because she's never seen or played Final Fantasy, like the original. So she's been enjoying the story with that. I mean, we have
Yeah.
Minecraft Dungeons coming out. We have a big update to Mario Maker coming out.
Yeah, or that's out already, isn't it?
Is it out already now?
I believe it came out
Um,
on Friday.
Friday? Okay.
You said it was
So
a DLC
that's-
It's
for it?
It's an update.
it's an update.
Okay.
So they added you can make your own actual like worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Like-
like Mario Maker, like Super Mario World, you can build like the physical map and everything,
Oh, okay.
which is really cool. They added a bunch of upgrades or power-ups such as Frog Mario from old games,
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Mario
Sounds like
from,
a hopping good time.
from like Mario 2, where you can pick up enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which
they
is-
added Mario 2 Mario. Like
Which
they're
is-
adding a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they added a ton of stuff. The ability to make worlds where you can now string together multiple levels is very interesting.
That's very
Um,
cool because I know a lot of people
kind of-
wanted to do that.
I kind of wish they had made it so you can upload more than one world at a time.
Oh, can you only have one uploaded?
I think so. That's what I heard. But if they change that, that would be great because
That would be cool.
the
if
fact
that's
you can
not the case.
basically build a whole game right in this game now would be very interesting.
Well, it's, one of the things that's kept the Mario community alive as long as it has been ROM hacks, because people will play hacked versions of Mario World, Mario, and Mario 3. Like that's one of the reasons that they stayed alive as long as they have. And Mario Maker made that super easy, and now you can make an entire world like nothing.
Yes, which
So
is
giving all of the players the tools for that, like they're just ensuring an extended lifespan for their game, which they literally said, oh yeah, we're not updating it anymore after this.
yes, they did say this is the last update. Now that might mean that they're going to make another one, especially since the
Right.
first one and this one did super super well.
Oh yeah, no, this game did incredibly well.
I'm still hoping they come out and go, okay, you love that, you love Mario Maker, here's Zelda Maker, or here's Castlevania Maker, or here's Metroid Maker. Like, I'd love to see a Maker game with these other titles that Nintendo has, because that would be
Yeah.
really
I could
nice.
see it definitely with Castlevania. Zelda seems like it's a little more of a protected franchise, though. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, we'll probably never get a Zelda one, but Castlevania would be interesting because
Castlevania would be very cool because like it's essentially the same thing as Mario. It's a platformer. So what are you doing? Just making up another platforming game creation tool?
Yep.
Like
So-
like I can almost guarantee that something exists online right now where you can do that.
or Mega Man, like a Mega Man would work great too.
It would.
Like there's a bunch of these older titles where something like that would work great. I
Pokemon
mean,
Maker. if
um,
only.
I mean, Nintendo works with Sega. Why is there a Sonic Maker?
because nobody wants that.
There are people who'd play that still.
Yeah, and all three of them are in their apartment right now, really sad and watching the Sonic movie online.
Apparently, that movie was decent.
I have heard that, and I will watch it eventually. I just haven't yet.
And the thing is, I want it to be decent because I'd like us to start getting video game movies in the same way that we've gotten comic book movies,
Where
where
they're actually
I
good.
agree.
Yeah, that would be
a
dope.
few decent one comes out, so they start throwing actual money and writers behind stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, bringing up Last of Us again, we're getting an HBO Last of Us series.
Yes, at some point.
I'm very excited about that. That'll be cool.
There is a Borderlands movie coming.
With
What?
Eli Roth directing it.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was one of their big announcements at PAX.
Oh,
So
how did I
that'll
miss
be
that? I never.
hopefully good.
I don't know.
Dude, they brought Eli Roth out on the stage, and he like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it
talked
was a
about it a bit.
big moment at the Gearbox panel. It was leaked ahead of the Gearbox panel, but they fully announced it there.
Yeah, but they fully announced it there. We have, speaking of Borderlands, they had a DLC drop as well as the Mayhem 2.0 system.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayhem 2.0 came out finally.
So Mayhem now goes up to level 10, I believe it is. So you can start farming through that. There's the whole
Yeah, Mayhem 10 is what it hits.
new area there is now, new weapons. There's apparently a children of
That
the
is in-
vault weapon that is like super broken.
They dropped another takedown, right? That's what the
Basically, yeah, it's like the revenge the cartels type thing, where new area to go through.
Zod's telling me I'm wrong. Please just tell me what it is. It's a Bloody Harvest style drop. Interesting.
So just real short.
It's a shorter one, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
but
I saw
there's-
another
there,
takedown on the roadmap. That's why I asked.
there are new weapons and stuff. And as I said, there's a new weapon that's apparently like super broken, broken. I think with Schreier I saw it was one of the games journalists I saw, the actual well-known ones who were decent, had got a drop of the gun on Mayhem 6, and it took him all the way up to Mayhem 10. And the reason he stopped using it is not because it stopped doing damage, is because he found a level 10 version.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was basically like one-shotting every enemy, like clearing out massive amounts of people with insane amounts of damage. So
Yeah, I'm excited to jump into it. I still need to do all my side quests in the most recent DLC.
Mm.
So I'm probably gonna hop into that for Mayhem.
now that DLC, the Love and Tentacles one, was actually quite fun, I found.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so funny.
And then there was also the Animal Crossing update that came out.
Big big Animal Crossing update. Red's back. He's selling those paintings that are lies.
Yep, Red's back. We now have bushes in the game as well. There's a new art wing on the museum.
Yes.
Some other things as well, which is cool.
Want everyone to realize that this guy's username in my Destiny game is I Hate Crucible. That's it.
I saw someone's name was I eat cereal with water.
Oh no.
Um,
What kind of
there
a
was-
monster is that?
No. You ready for this?
So that was an interesting
Langston
name.
found someone in one of his Valorant games and he clipped the conversation, and that person talked about microwaving their cereal.
You've never had warm cereal?
I have not. No, is that
Like
a
you don't
thing?
microwave it for long. Just warm it up a little tiny bit. I don't do it all the time. Like very rarely do I do it,
What
but
is-
like every
What
once
is
in a
this?
while.
What is this satanic garbage?
You put it in for like a
The dude
minimum
was
amount
like,
of time.
pour milk into the bowl, microwave the bowl, then pour cereal into it. That just sounds weird.
What the fuck? Wow. Okay. All right. French is concerned.
What
Never heard of
cereal
this
are you
one.
microwaving?
I like what is the shredded wheat?
Okay. Yeah,
It's not.
people do
You're
microwave that
barely
one.
warming it up. Whatever.
No, I have seen people warm up
It's
shredded
like
wheat. Fine. Fine. You're not
it's
a
like
monster.
a barely.
It's okay.
It's not like oatmeal where you
that's-
make it hot. It's like
That's the other things that came out. So, we also had the new XCOM game drop. We had the remake of Trials of Mana drop, And there was also the Fallout 76 update, which apparently people say is great.
Yeah, it's
if you like Fallout games.
I'm entertaining the idea of maybe going back and try. Oh wait, there's a thing that somebody was telling me. If you own it on Bethesda, if you link it to your Steam, you can have it for free on Steam. I want to do that because you have to do it before. You have to do it within like 2 more days from now. The 28th is the last day to do it.
Yeah, you might want to do that then.
I need to figure out how to do that because I do not ever want to. Do I even have the Bethesda launcher still on my computer? Probably not. It's fucking garbage.
There's the Predator 4v1 game dropped as well, I believe.
Yes.
So people were saying it's really bad, is what I've been hearing. So,
I mean, everybody's trying to capitalize on Evolve since Evolve came out and wasn't Evolve.
Yeah.
That's it. It's literally it. Every single person's been trying to capitalize on the feeling Evolve gave 5 beta testers that had a great time.
Yeah.
That's to say, I actually did really enjoy Evolve. I bought it multiple times, and I have the free-to-play version, and I actually liked it. But
it looked like a good game. It just needed some tweaks.
It needed more than they had when they launched, and they needed better systems than they had when they launched. Because they should have advertised it a lot more as a group party game.
Yes, they should have advertised it differently. They should have waited a little bit for it to launch. They had a few more things ready to go for the game. And they should have made the monetization setup not be exploitative as all fuck. Because, oh boy, was that bad.
Yeah, no, it's rough. But like that, it was a really fun concept. It was a really fun game, and like they just needed to do more to it before they put it out. And it sucks, but it's the way that games work. Or it's the way some games work. But
so Minecraft Dungeon comes out in a month from now.
That'll be fun.
Comes out on the 26th, I believe, of May. So I think that's the next actual drop of game is that. I think there's anything else.
I'm checking May releases right now just to see like what we got coming up, because I'm interested.
I don't think there's much.
There's really not. And May is kind of a dead month usually.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Star Wars Episode 1 Racer comes out on May 12th for PS4.
June's got a couple interesting things. It's got the Pokemon update.
New Trackmania. Elder Scrolls DLC.
That comes out in June.
May 18th, Greymore is what I see here. Did they delay it?
Yeah, it got delayed to June 2nd.
It's June 2nd now. Yeah.
They're releasing Saints Row the Third Remastered. Perfect game. Don't know why you'd remaster it. Another Sword Art Online video game. And BioShock, Borderlands, and XCOM are coming to the Switch.
Oh, yes.
Wait, which XCOM is coming to the Switch?
2. Or XCOM 2 Collection.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's going to the Switch, and then the Borderlands Legendary Collection is going to the Switch, and the BioShock Collection, which is 1, 2, and Infinite.
Cool.
Bleeding Edge came out. And it's
Terraria end next month.
So Bleeding Edge, the new arena type game, which I know, Dale, you played the beta of. Got such lackluster reviews that they are using basically uncredited Discord and Twitter responses about the game as advertising material for quotes. And it's not like they have a bunch of them. They have like 5.
Can you send me like a picture of this? I want to see it.
I saw an article on it.
I saw that game and was like, that game looks like somebody had a really good idea and thought it would be really fun, and 18 people said yes, but nobody on the team actually thought it was going to work.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It seems just messy.
It's apparently super, super, super mediocre. So they're like, yeah, it's a thing.
Terraria is shutting down. No, Terraria is not shutting down, but Terraria is releasing their final update next month.
We also have Gears Tactics coming out. I suppose that's the thing. People who likes tactics games.
Or Gears of
Um,
War.
Yeah, or
Just-
Gears of War. It might be good for you. Um,
I'm not a Gears fan. I've
yeah,
tried.
there's really not a lot
This is
coming in May. Like May's kind of the
We
month
were-
where there's
stacked in late March, early April.
we had Doom and all that stuff there. So I mean,
I want to replay Doom already.
like
So much
I
fun.
mean, like if you go back and look at like, you know, February, March here,
We had Animal Crossing, we had Doom, we had Resident Evil 3 Remastered, we had Final Fantasy 7, we had Persona 5 Royal.
we had Neo 2 came out, Ori and the Will of the Wisp came out, Warzone.
Warzone did come out. I wasn't really counting that because it's
I know,
COD. But then, speaking of COD, like later this week, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign is on PC and Xbox, like it
Yeah.
should have been at launch.
So I mean, we got a stacked start of the month, like per the year here, which is kind of good because everybody's kind of been stuck inside for like 7-8 weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
it just sucks. A lot of things are getting delayed, so we're not going to be seeing them
Yes.
as soon as we want. Luckily, games like Cyberpunk have not been having issues with delays. Consoles are still set to release on time, so, or at least we hope they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the next big thing I'm looking forward to, I might try out Minecraft Dungeons. I don't know.
I'm
Diablo,
likely
don't you?
to. I'm very likely
do.
to.
That's
Like
the only
Diablo,
reason I
you'll
might.
like it.
That's the only reason I might try it out is because I like things like Diablo and that. Next big thing I'm looking forward to is Greymoor for ESO.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I don't think there's anything until September, which is Cyberpunk.
Jeez.
Unless we get some of the games that are supposed to be coming out this year that don't actually have like confirmed dates pop up, like Boyfriend Dungeon, which is the game I want you to play, Biomutant, those are supposed to be coming out this year. Like there's a bunch of stuff that some of the stuff looks interesting, but there's no dates, right?
Yeah.
So, which is always a thing. Other than that, I'm just probably going to be playing a lot of, ESO when I have time to actually play video games, which
Yeah.
might not be for a month or two.
I don't even know what I'm going to
Are
be
you gonna
doing.
be? Are you back to not having video game time already?
I am currently booked until June.
Goddamn.
Damn.
I've got a few smaller projects coming up this week. I've got a thing for I'm doing a flat. I got something I'm doing a FEF. That has to be like I'm going to try to knock out in this week. I've got the ongoing stuff for Rare Drop because the charity event is still going, like that's still on because it's
Yay.
digital. So I'm doing stuff there. And then I got booked for a large channel overhaul for someone where they want a bunch of custom animation. So that's
Fun.
gonna take like a month because most of it's gonna be done by hand. And I think company realizes what a pain in the ass that's gonna be.
It's going to be very, very fun for you.
So
Well, it's a good. Yeah.
but it's also like worth the time for a month. Like that's so
Right.
Oh yeah, no. Listen,
Oh.
hand animation is one of the most grueling and like just soul-killing processes in the world. But at the end of the day, the product you get is always worth it.
and they're when the client goes money's not an issue is nice. So
Oh, dude, you should have. I saw somebody. I saw a post on Twitter this morning when I was browsing. It was somebody got like a DM. It's like, hey, can you make thumbnails? Like, yeah. Can we get 2 for $30? Yeah, sure. Actually, can I get 3? Yeah, sure. And then he like gives like the list of information. It's like, cool. It's like, then he links his PayPal and says like, okay, send me the money. Like, wait, what? It's like, yes, I need the money by April 29th to pay my bills. Like, what are you? Wait, you pay me. I'm making you things. Like, what? What are you talking about?
It's like, I'm giving you the opportunity to make something for me.
They didn't even pull that. They didn't even pull the, like, I'm giving you an opportunity or anything. They were just like, what are you talking about? And then they started cursing him out. Like, it made no sense. I do hate,
there are people like that who are like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm giving you the opportunity, so you should be paying me for it. It's like,
Robert,
no.
Do you ever browse the Choosing Beggars subreddit?
No.
You would love it. Because it is almost exclusively people who, like, contact artists or whatever and are like, oh my god, you're so good, can you make me this art? It's like, yeah, it'll cost you like $20 for a commission. Wait, what? That's not fair. My uncle on my other side of my family that I've never talked to has toe cancer, so you need to do this for me for free. It's like, well, that's not how it works. I can't just do stuff for free. This is my livelihood, followed by cursing and yelling.
Oh my god.
And a lot of variations on that always get more entertaining. So
this is why when when someone first contacts me to do a job, I do not give them a quote first thing. I ask them always, like, what are you looking for, so I can give a good approximation of what something is going to cost.
Yeah,
based on what you're looking for. And I also tell them straight up that here's how I do billing. It's 25% up front. And most people, when they see 25%, like, I have to pay you money before I do anything, and I have to finish paying you everything before I get anything from you. Anybody who's like an idiot kind of fucks off and doesn't contact back.
Like, because that's, if you put literally any barrier in front of it, then half the people will walk away.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, worst case scenario, if you do something and somebody ends up being an ass, you can be like, cool, non-refundable 25%. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. If I have to cancel or you cancel, well, it depends on how far they're into a project. It's 25% to start. And if then I've gone through the project and I've done concepts and you've approved the concepts, that's another 25% there. So at that point, it's 50% paid, non-refundable. So if you kill the contract at that point, cool, I've still made half my money.
And you haven't even done the super hard part yet,
which is fill out every single piece, because concepts are, here's this 20-piece project
you can come
I
up
have
with
to work
25 thumbnails in 10 minutes. Like,
and well, you see, I don't give super rough stuff out for my concept work.
Oh yeah, no, like, you gotta make it better before you do that. But
I've seen people go, here's a napkin, here's a drawing on the napkin, this is our concept.
It's like made with ketchup, and like, it's like, yes, this is our artwork.
There is one I saw from someone who we all know, and he got into an actual well-known firm, like design firm, and they literally gave him, it looked like it looked like a napkin with like a stick figure drawn on it.
I heard about this.
For the concept of his logo, and I was like, oh,
that is okay. That's amazing. I don't know this story, but I'm gonna want to know later.
Oh, I guarantee you know the person, and I think Dale already knows as soon as I talk about it.
I remember hearing him.
I just don't know that. I just want to know though, because that sounds hilarious.
And then it took him months to get like a refund from them. Like, he was just constantly arguing with them about it.
I mean, yeah. And the thing was, like, once you go to like an actual corporation or anything larger than an individual person, and they have the money and the lawyers, then it just becomes complicated. Not because you have to deal with legal paperwork, but because if you want to back out or something, they could decide to be an ass and just drain you.
There was a contract in place, like a written contract in place, and he had the option of like backing up and getting a refund because of unsatisfactory work.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to give him back the money, and we're dragging their feet on that. And it's not the best person to drag your feet on. So it was
I have a feeling I know who it is all of a sudden. But yeah.
So, interesting thing. Like, there's also another designer I know has posted recently on Twitter and is seeing if people are interested in kind of a roundtable stream discussion on how to avoid getting scammed and
Ooh.
picking up the proper artist.
I love that kind of stuff.
Both information for artists who are doing work, who are avoid getting dealing with shitty clients, and how to
then
deal
for
with them,
clients to avoid getting
and then getting shit like art and picking the right artists and stuff like that. So that would be an interesting thing. And he wants to get like a bunch of different artists for like emote artists, overlay artists, graphic designers, and it's kind of like a round discussion on it, which would be interesting. So.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for anybody who's in the streaming space or that are looking to hire somebody, it's good information. Like first and foremost, avoid Fiverr.
Oh yeah, no, like Fiverr and Craigslist. You want to know what's actually a really, really good way to find people? Like unironically, Google hashtag stream emotes on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, because there are a lot of artists. There's other buzzword hashtags that Copper definitely knows off the top of his head, and I don't. But the concept is, you go to Twitter and there are artists that will constantly be showing off what they've made for other people.
Yes.
And then you can find, and they will use those hashtags because they are looking for people that want their services. And they are generally some of the kindest and most awesome people. And you can already look at their portfolio because it's on their website or on their Twitter page.
Yep.
And also, realize that with as everything in life, you get what you pay for.
Oh yeah. I paid Copper 2 rocks and a quarter, and I got this loadout. So imagine if you paid him actual money.
If you pay, like, if someone's like, "Hey, I can do all this, this whole rebranding for you. It'll be $100." Understand that you're probably going to get really shitty work, because something like that is way more than $100.
Gary's right.
Just factor it out. Like if it's something, like a rebranding, let's say it takes 10 hours to do, right? It takes more, but let's say it takes 10 hours to do, because 10's a nice easy number to multiply with.
Sure.
If someone's like, it's going to cost you $100, that means they're getting paid $10 an hour.
That is, they are getting paid less than the legal minimum wage where I live, which means that they're probably putting in less effort than a minimum wage worker, which means
yes,
that
you're not going to get a good thing for it. Now,
they could also
art
just
also isn't one-to-one with hours, et cetera, all that fun
right.
stuff.
There's all that fun stuff. And as I said, it takes more than 10 hours even for someone who is competent and, has a good history and can do something quickly. A whole rebrand is time consuming because there's a lot of pieces to it. There's research to be done.
There's logo, and you need to do every single part of a rebrand. You need to do the logo, you need to do the banners, you need to do the backgrounds. If it's a stream, you need to do every single panel page that they have, which once you have all of the working pieces, it's not as bad, but you still need to make those pieces.
And understand that, as a streamer, if someone's like, it's going to be, $500 to $2,000 for like a rebranding thing. You should kind of accept that that's where your price range is going to be for proper work. And if you're like, well, that's a lot of money. Well, if you're a startup business in any other industry aside this one, if you go to a graphic designer or a graphic design firm and say, hey, I need a branding package for my new business, and I'm going to be a small business, just starting out, they're going to go, okay, cool. It's $5,000 to $30,000.
Yeah. No, that was actually something we talked about in one of my art business classes. Was if depending on who you talk to, you could get the same quality of work, but you might be paying out the ass for it even.
And the bigger you are, or the more
name recognition,
the more name recognition you have as a person or a company, the more you are going to pay, because the more the work is worth.
Yeah.
Like if Coke says, okay, we're going to develop a new product and we need a new logo for it, and goes to someone to design it, that's probably going to cost them $20,000 to $100,000 for that logo.
Well,
right?
Imagine if McDonald's, right, decided to rebrand from the Golden Arches.
Oh God.
Now, that's not going to happen in any near future at all, unless there is some way that you could link them to terrorism or an alt-right group or something evil and bad. So imagine they were doing that. How much do you think McDonald's is going to pay to change their branding? Let's not talk about the physical branding that they're changing, the signs, the restaurants, and everything. How much are they changing? How much are they paying for the logo alone?
All right, let's do an easy one. Everybody has heard of Pepsi, right?
Yes.
So Pepsi back in 2014, 15-ish,
Oh, it was earlier than that, I think.
changed their logo, right? They updated their logo. Now, if you remember, the new logo versus the old logo are super similar.
Very.
They're not very different. What do you think it cost Pepsi for that logo?
$5 million.
No.
Dang it.
But it is in the millions. It's $1 million. It literally cost them $1 million for that super simple change.
Yeah, they just
I
made it
went
more
over
modern
instead of under.
Like,
And the thing
it's
is,
the same.
though,
Like, it's just a different shaped swoosh on the white. That's it. That's the whole thing.
they gave, but like the guy making that, I guarantee went through at least 30 proofs, and it took so long to get Pepsi to approve one specific thing.
I guarantee you that that logo, because I have experience working with companies of this size, one, they went to a marketing firm.
Oh, absolutely.
There's probably at least 10 people working on it from start to finish. And there was probably a very strict criteria of what they could do. They were probably told, you have to use these colors. It should be circular. It should be somewhat reminiscent of our old logo or have ties back to that so people understand the brand recognition still. Which
all of that was accomplished.
All that's accomplished. That's all in place. And those are insanely strict working conditions under. Like,
and that's why they're
nuts.
also paying way more for it as well.
Yes, it's brand recognition and size. Like, that's what it is. Like, if a mom and pop shop came and said, hey, I need a new logo for my store, that's not going to be the same problem. You're not going to charge them $1 million, even if they went to the same company that did it.
Right.
But Copper, would you charge me extra if when I asked you to rebrand my mom and pop store, I also said, by the way, I need it to be this, and this, and all these different restrictions? Would you charge more for more restrictions depending on if I got super bad?
Generally, no. So when someone first comes to you and says, hey, here's what I want, here's what I'm thinking of, and here's the things I want to include or don't include, that's fine. That's usually not a thing. That's just part of the job, right?
Yeah, of course.
Now, when you're going through something, typically speaking, on a typical job, you'll make your concepts, submit the concepts, and, they'll pick stuff out, stuff like that, ask for changes. And then once they approve the concepts, at that point, they have a certain number of changes they can make based on those approved concepts.
Yeah.
And if they come back and say, hey, change of plans, I need to scrap this and we need to go this direction instead, cool. At that point, you then basically have to tell the client, it's like, okay, well, that's outside of the scope of the project. So we can start a new one for you. It's the same cost as the previous one. But because we're killing the previous job, there's going to be the kill fee involved, which is generally the other 25%. And that project stopped, and then we'll start this one on. So there'll be 25% deposit on this one again, and we'll go through the process going forward. So being aware as an artist of what's okay and what's not in terms of how much you're willing to change, what you're willing to do for people. And it can change. Like, I'll do stuff for Dale or Comfy where I don't care how many changes they make. I don't charge them extra for shit like that. Because, they're buddies of mine. There's other people I do that for as well.
Also not super picky.
There's that too. You trust me. There's another thing. If you hire an artist, dear God, trust their opinion.
Please trust your artist. Listen, if you're already paying more money than you think you should be for it, it's probably for a good reason.
Like, part of the thing when you're picking an artist, you're picking out someone whose work you already enjoy. And that is work that they have put their expertise into. So don't try to undermine that expertise and expect a good result. Also remember that when you're picking somebody out, that if they do this one style of art, say it's like super cutesy art, you're like, oh, I really love your art, I want to commission you. They're like, Sue, cool, great. What do you want me to do? They're like, I want you to draw this badass, bloodthirsty, horrific dragon. They'd be like, have you looked at my other stuff?
Yeah, you need to find an artist that not only will make what you want, but has a style that you enjoy and will work with what you have. Copper, for example, does pretty much everything, but does really good logo design and because he's done a lot of corporate bullshit.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I needed. So I was like, Copper, help.
The reason I have a lot of, like, I don't have what I would call a typical style, like a lot of illustrators or some designers do. Like,
yeah.
For example, young Khan, who's a great designer.
Awesome.
I can always spot Khan's work because there is a particular style in which Khan does stuff.
Oh yeah, it's which is a very good thing to have as an artist in that sort of industry.
Can be. Now I'm what you'd call a commercial artist, so because of that, I can design stuff in multiple styles, and I don't really have a particular style myself. It's a skill set that I developed working in the corporate world, because you kind of have to, because people are like, I want this and this and this and these different styles. You just get used to it, but it takes a long time to develop that skill set. So
yeah,
you know, I bill out based on that experience. Like if someone says, hey, can you do this for me, you know, it's just a small job, I look at it and go, yeah, you know, this is what you want, I can have it to you in an hour, and then I give them the price. They're like, that seems a lot of money for an hour's work. Yeah, because you're paying for my expertise at that point.
Well,
right,
the way, again, like one of my favorite classes I took was business, because it was so much just don't take bullshit from people.
Yes, and there's that, like, just
so one of the things was
a pushover.
Like if I'm making you a logo, right? Like if you're charging me for a logo, and I charge you $200 for it, right? You ask me, how many hours does that take you to make in Photoshop? I was like, well, once I figured it all out, it took me 2 hours to make the logo, right? Very, very generous estimates. Let's just play off of it. Okay. Somebody could ask, well, but then I'm paying you $100 an hour. Why would I do that when you just made it in 2? It's like, well, you're also paying for the education and all of the practice and all of the training that I've spent years perfecting and crafting, so that you can actually get this end product in 2 hours and not 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like, I did a whole convention last year in a week, right? All the signage for a convention in a week, which is an insane amount of work, because I have a lot of experience in that type of design, right? I can make signage and stuff like that pretty quickly, resize stuff pretty quickly, because I did it for years. You know, and that reflects in how much money I bill. Like, and there are clients I bill less, you know, per hour, because I deal with them so often, so they do get a price break based on it. You know, so I'm kind of hoping that discussion kind of goes forward, because I'm interested to see in, you know, other people's input and reactions and stuff like that to it.
That was a really interesting conversation on art and art art business in the world that we live in. That was fun. I enjoyed it. You know what else I enjoy?
What's that?
Finding my friends online.
Finding your friends online. Copper, where could Comfy find you as a friend on the internet?
I mean, to be friends, you can find me at copperliondesigns.com or Copperlion Art, Copperlion Designs, Instagram and Twitter, respectively. As a note, because this came up today, if you are looking to contact me, Twitter is a great place to do it. More so than Instagram. I do not check Instagram nearly as much as I should. Like, it's maybe like for messaging, it's like once or twice a week. Or just straight up email me at copperliondesigns@gmail. That's, you know, the best way of getting a hold of me. And Dale, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at twitch.tv/MrVengeanceTV, as well as on the Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Mr. Vengeance TV. It's where we do all of the fun stuff. Comfy, what are you? Where are you?
God
damn.
What are you? He's sad. That's what Comfy is. He's sad.
I am always sad. I am the saddest boy, and you can find the saddest boy at mixer.com/sadboyhours, twitter.com/sadboyhours. That's a lie. Mixer.com/Comfimus, Twitter Comfimus, Instagram Comfimus. You know, the name that I have is where you'll find me. Maybe I'll be doing something this week, maybe not. I don't know, but it's going to be a good time.
All right. Well, yeah. Next week, we're going to be watching
Gleipnir.
And Black Clover was iffy.
Was a thing.
Show. It was very much a show.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out.
Bye, everybody. Oh my god.